Hey y'all, it's Tia from Booked and Budget & Co. and welcome back to another video. On this channel, we do all things budgeting. We do paycheck budgeting, we do cash stuffings, we do sinking fund stuffings, we do fund savings challenges, and this is all towards the goal of paying off all of my debts and becoming debt-free. So if this is your vibe and if you like these type of things, make sure you stay tuned for this video. All right, so in this video, we have our budgeting planner out. So we are going to be doing our paycheck budget breakdown. I feel like it's been a while since I've recorded a video, and I just didn't do like last pay period's budgeting video. I still did my budget, of course, but I honestly just did not have time to record because I need to record when my kids are asleep and when my family is asleep, and I've just been like sleeping in on all of my days off, and whenever everybody's woke, it's never quiet enough to record. So now I am up very early to get this recording out of the way in peace and quiet. Okay, so this is going to be for the second pay period. Yeah, sorry. Is this the second pay period? This is technically, I would say, the first pay period because the last pay period I got paid on July 30th. This was still technically in July's pay period because July I had 3 checks. So I guess technically, even though this is for a pay period August 13th through the 26th, this is like kind of technically August paycheck number 1, which sounds weird considering it's the middle of August. Okay, so for my income, my full-time income comes from me being a nurse practitioner. I do have a small business, but I don't budget or spend any money that I make off my small business. That just stays in my business account. So like I said, my full-time paycheck comes from my nurse practitioner budget. And after taxes and deductions, my check was $4,000 for the pay period. And I round this down in order to like keep a buffer in my account and just to start with like a nice even number. So we're going to start with $4,000 for my paycheck. Okay, for the second section, it's bills and debt, and I like to break mine apart and do like the bills first and then the debt. So for bills, we have the first one is child care, and that's $400 for the 2-week period. Next bill is Apple Music. That's $11.87. Then we have my car notes. I count my car note as a bill because I lease. So I don't really count it as debt because leasing, if you don't know, is kind of basically like renting, which I am 100% okay with. So like I said, I count that kind of as a bill and not debt. So car note is $737.31. Next thing is my cell phone, T-Mobile, and that's $147.22. Next is iCloud storage, that's $9.99. Then we have my Hand and Stone membership. That's like a monthly membership club to get a facial or a massage monthly, and that is $79.95. Then we have Hulu, which is $13. And lastly, for bills, we have Apple TV, which is $14.03. So if we add up all the bills, 487. So for all the bills, we have $1,413.37. Okay, so now for the debts, we have Upgrade, which is like a personal loan that I got years ago. Still paying that off. It should almost be done, but whatever. That's $591.21. Next is First Mark, which is one of my like private student loans. That is $191.70. And then lastly, for debt, we have my Discover card, which is $347. So let's add up the debt payments. So for debt, we have $1,129.91. So now I'm going to add up the debt and the bills to get my total debt/bill payment. So that total is $2,543.28. So if we subtract that from my income, which was $4,000, which means we have $1,456.72 left to budget. Next, we're going to figure out my variable expenses. These are gas, a household, parking, eating out, TIA, and miscellaneous. Okay, so first for gas, we always budget $90. For household, always budget $600, and this is for like groceries, like everything for the household, groceries, toilet paper, like laundry detergent, like anything that's for the household comes from this variable expense budget. Parking, nothing for parking this pay period. Eating out is $50. TIA, which is like my personal spending, which this is a new category that I just implemented about 2 weeks ago. So TIA is going to get $50. And miscellaneous is going to get $25. So let's add all this up. And this total is $815. And if we subtract that from what we had left down here, we have $641.72 left. For this remaining $641, this is all just going to go towards savings challenges and sinking funds. So let's just, to complete out the worksheet, the total that we're going to spend in that is $641. And then what we have left over is 72 cents. And this is how you do a zero-based budget. You start with your paycheck and then you deduct everything until you get to zero, or in my sense, 72 cents. But you're giving every dollar a budget so that way you know where your money is going each pay period. Okay, so now that we have our paycheck budget breakdown figured out, we are going to do our cash envelope breakdown. So this is going to help me to figure out what I need to get from the bank in order to be able to cash stuff. So the first category is gas. Gas is getting $90. For gas, we are going to take a 50 and 2 20s to make 90. And for my variable expenses, I typically take out the same exact denominations each pay period. So like I kind of already know what these are off the top of my head. So next, household gets $600. So that's going to get 4 $100 bills, 2 50s, and 5 20s. Next, eating out is getting $50, and that's just going to get 1 $50 bill. Next is TIA, which is my personal spending. That's also going to get $50. So we'll get 2 20s and a 10. And last for my variable expenses is miscellaneous, which is $25. That's going to get a 20 and a 5. And I forgot to mention my variable expenses. These are the categories that are in my wallet. So basically this is what I stuff in my wallet each pay period. So next we're going to figure out how much I need to take out of the bank for my sinking funds and savings challenges. So the first category is going to be me, which is basically me is a long-term savings goal, and it's for my long-term savings account. So that's going to get $40, which will be 2 20s. The next one is the boys. I have 2 sons, so this is their long-term savings account, and I keep theirs combined. So whatever's in the account, like they get 50-50. So this one is going to get $80. That'll be a 50, a 20, and a 10. Next is my emergency fund. That's going to get $100, so $100 bill. Next is vacay. That's going to get $75. So we have a 50, a 20, and a 5. Next is home-ish. This is basically a category that I created for like any type of home decor things. So this is separate from household, which household is like groceries, like I said, laundry detergent. I have a cat, so like cat litter, like anything for that aspect is household. But home-ish is more for like decor. So home-ish is getting $50. So we do a $50 bill. Next is my self-care fund. That's going to get $50. So another $50 bill. So this, I think, no, I still have a couple more. So then we are going to do Lego. I am a huge fan of Lego. So yes, I have a savings account for my Lego builds. That's going to get $26. So that's a 20, a 5, and a 1. Next is Fun Stuff. Fun Stuff is an account that I have created for just fun stuff that my family and I do. Like if we're eating out, the money comes from this account. We are a family of 4. I have 2 boys and a husband. So fun stuff, like I said, for anything that we do as a family, that's what the fun stuff is. So that's going to get $40, which is going to be 2 20s. And that's it for like my sinking funds. And I'm going to stuff a couple savings challenges this pay period, so we'll get into that. So for my koala cash stash, that's going to get $100, which is just $100 bill. Then I have another challenge called the Dream It Save It challenge. That's going to get $30, so we'll do a 20 and a 10. And then lastly is my Nurse Practitioner challenge. That's going to get $50, so just a $50 bill. Okay, so let's just add this up and make sure everything adds up to what it's supposed to be. So we have 90, 600, 50, 50, 25, 40, 80, 100, 75, 15, 50, 26, 20, 100, 30, 50. So the total we have is $1,456. So this is the amount of cash that I should be taking out of the bank. And then we're just going to tally up everything and bring them down. So 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so now that we've finished the cash envelope breakdown, we are going to do the cash teller slip. So this is what I will take to the bank when I go to take out the money, so that way I know how much of each denomination to remove from the bank. So for the $100 bills, we want to get 6, and that is $600. For the 50s, we want to get 9. That's $450. For the 20s, we want to get 18. That's $360. For the 10s, we want to get 3, which is 30. For the 5s, we want to get 3. That's 15. And for the 1s, we only need 1. So let's get this added up. So whatever I get here should match this. So let's see if I did this right. Yep. So $1,456. And like I said, this is what I will take to the bank in order to make sure I remove the right amount of denominations. Okay, y'all, so that is it for this video. Just to recap, we did my paycheck budget breakdown for the pay period from August 13th to August 26th. We did a zero-based budget. We budgeted everything down to the last penny. Then we did our cash envelope breakdown so we can figure out what we're cash stuffing into each category. And we also did our teller slip. This is what I will take to the bank in order to make sure I withdraw the correct denominations for each account. So make sure you stay tuned for our next video. In that video, we will be doing our cash count and all of our cash stuffings. We'll be stuffing my wallet, my sinking funds, and my savings challenges. So AKA all the fun stuff. So make sure you give this video right here a like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.